Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And today we're talking about Shakespeare and Hamlet. We'll be reading a little section of his work, which is considered one of the greatest literary works in English, although it is very difficult. If you guys have any comments or questions on this class, you're welcome to message me here on Verbling or on Facebook. And I'll put my Facebook name in the chat box for you. I also update about my classes there, or you can just message me to say hi. I've got plenty of open tutoring sessions still this week and next week and all the weeks to come. So check out my tutor schedule as well on my Verbling profile. I'll put the notes for class in the chat boxes for you so you guys can check those out before we begin. And I can screen share for anyone who wants it. We have some interesting discussion today. Here we go, talking about Shakespeare. Hey Shafar, welcome back.
Hello, teacher. Yes, thank you.
So you're setting aside lots of study time today, huh?
No, really, not really. I just started an hour ago with you.
All right. Still,
Yeah.
2 hours is pretty good.
Yes, but I just take a break. I just runs away from you a few minutes before you stop.
All right. So, do
Take a
you
break.
know who Shakespeare is?
Exactly, I don't know. Shakespeare. I have heard that before a lot of time, but I'm lazy to figure out who is.
Well, he's not exactly a person from the modern time. He's a pretty old figure, and he wrote a lot of very famous work in English. Some things that might be familiar to you would be Romeo and Juliet. He wrote that. He
Yeah.
wrote Hamlet, which we're going to read a little bit of today. And let's see. Oh, he wrote lots of stuff. Let me come up with a specific book list. He wrote Othello. Have you heard of some of these books?
What books?
Like Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet.
Hamlet I never, but it's there are imagine or there are shadow in my mind about Hamlet. Yeah.
So, what do you think is the greatest writer in your original mother language? Can you think of any really great writers in your mother language?
Writers. Wow. It's exactly for just for novel.
Huh? What'd you say?
Oh yeah, Henning Bramancio.
All right. So I have some quotes for you about Shakespeare. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. What do you think of that quote? I'll put it in the chat box too. Oops.
Why there's no visitor, teacher?
What?
There's no other student. Why?
That's a good question. They're waiting for us to get some interesting conversation going before they come in.
hmm,
So read the quote in the chat box and tell me what you think about it.
it's not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And one more quote from Shakespeare that I'll put in the chat box. A fool thinks himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. Do you think that's a true statement?
I'm afraid to be agree this statement, this quote, but I think it's nice and it's
You're
makes sense.
afraid to agree. Why?
Because I mean I'm afraid to disagree.
Wait, why? Why are you afraid to disagree?
Because maybe sometimes we need to call ourselves a wise. Yeah, sometimes I do it. I'm a wise people. I think. Is there anyone who want to approve themselves as a fool? I think no one.
Yeah, true. Very
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's
I'm not a
not
fool,
exactly.
but I'm not wise as well.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so in one of Shakespeare's most famous works called Hamlet, the main character is, of course, Hamlet himself. And we're going to learn a little bit more about Hamlet. So on the next page, we're going to read about Hamlet's problems because Hamlet had some serious problems. Can you read these problems for us?
Hamlet has some serious problems. His father has been murdered. His mother has married to men who murdered his father. Wow. The girl he was going to marry has drowned. His father's ghost visits him every night. He must take revenge, but he cannot act. Something stops him. As he thinks about the situation, he asks himself many questions. The first, to be or not to be, that is question. What do you think he means? What is not to be?
Okay, so first off, what do you think of Hamlet's life? His father's been murdered. His mother married the man who murdered his father. His fiance is dead. And his father's ghost haunts him at night to take revenge. What does that make you think of? How do you think Hamlet
Uh,
is feeling?
yeah, he should be feeling awful or not unhealthy or hurt. Yeah, and I would say that's confusing.
Yeah, totally. So he's not in a really good situation right now, and he asks himself to be or not to be. That is the question. So, what do you think he means when he says to be or not to be? So he's saying, like, exist or not to exist. Which one's better?
Yeah, mm, maybe he means that he want to be evil or a good man.
Okay, he might be talking about the difference between good and evil.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's a quiet day today on Verbling, I guess. Maybe Shakespeare's not so popular.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the next page, it says Hamlet is asking himself, shall I continue living or shall I kill myself? And shall is one of those modal verbs that we talked about. It's not something that's
Yeah.
used very much now. It's a very uncommon modal in modern language, but it was a lot more common when Shakespeare lived. So he uses shall a lot. So when he says to be or not to be, he's saying, should I kill myself? Or should I continue on with this very difficult life of mine? To me, it kind of reminds me of a soap opera. Have you ever watched a soap opera, Shafar?
I have not.
Do you know what a soap opera is?
No.
Awesome. So a soap opera is a TV show, and usually it's very, very dramatic, like too dramatic, overly dramatic. And the situations in soap operas are always very extreme. So you'll have a situation like a woman gets married to her sister's husband or something. And you have this situation that isn't very realistic, but it's very dramatic. And his life reminds me of that because he has a lot of serious problems. It might not be something super realistic. I've never heard of this happening in real life, where your father was murdered and your mother married his murderer and then your girlfriend drowns. Those are some serious problems, almost too dramatic for real life. Okay. So, we're going to learn a little bit of Old English here. These are not words that are used in modern English, but they're going to help us understand a passage that we read from Hamlet. So can you read the vocabulary for us?
Quitters means that. Take arms means fight. Bodkin means knife.
Okay, so those are just some helpful words in what we're about to read. What we're going to do is we're going to match the plain English to the Shakespeare English. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections here in different colors, and we're going to match them to letters A, B, C, D, and E. So I'll read the letters, and then I'll have you read the section of Shakespeare's, and we'll match them. So letter A, but what is there after death? There is a difficult question, and maybe there are more problems afterwards. So we prefer to tolerate the problems we have now. So in that one, he's discussing death with himself and what if that's a solution or not. In B, it says, who wants to fight against so many problems? We could find peace by killing ourselves. C, this is one great way of avoiding these problems. Then we can sleep. D, is it better to tolerate problems and difficulties or to fight them? E, but there is another problem. If we die, we sleep. If we sleep, we might dream. But what kind of dreams would we have? Okay, so those are the translated Shakespeare sections. We're now going to read his original words and try to match each set to the modern English equivalent. Can you read number 1 for us?
The dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Those conscience does make cowards of us all.
Awesome. And Heidi, welcome to class.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Good to have you with us. So what do you know about Shakespeare, Heidi?
Shakespeare wrote a lot of novels. It became a lot of play. even now, it made a movie or a lot of things.
Yeah, totally. He's popular even now, hundreds of years after he was alive. Okay, so we just read a section of his play Hamlet, and we're going to match it to the original or the American English or the modern English that is above. So the section we just read, he's talking about death, and then he says, it makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. So what do you guys think he's talking about? Do you think he's, which can we translate this to? A, B, C, D, E? Any ideas?
It may be A. It may be A, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. A. A is a great link here because he's saying, what is there after death? That's a difficult question. And we don't know, so we tolerate the problems we have now. And that's exactly what he means by the ills we have. The ills we have, or the problems we have. Okay? Heidi, can you read number 2 for us, the yellow section?
Mm-hmm. For full there the whips and scorns of time. The oppressors I'm sorry. My oppressors wrong. The proud man can. I'm sorry. My eyesight is very bad. Yellow is no good. It I can't. Contumely.
Mm-hmm.
The tongue of despised love, the law of rose delay, the insolence of office, and the spurned that patient merit of the unworthy takes when he himself might his cues quit
Quietus.
quiet
Mm-hmm.
make right with a bear Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
Another color is much better.
That's a really difficult section, but you read it very well. And now we're going to match that. So in number 2, he's talking about the oppressor's wrong and the pride of men and despised love, the law's delay, all of these negative sounding things. What letter does it match up with? We've already matched A to number 1, so it's not that.
Yeah.
What other ones could we match it to? Shafar, do you have any ideas which one we might be able to match that to?
In my opinion, it could be B again. It's I don't know. It shouldn't be in order, but I think it should be related in B.
Yeah, that's true. So number 1 we marked with A, and number 2 goes with B. Because in the beginning, we're talking about all of the problems Hamlet is experiencing. There's the oppressor's wrong and despised love, which means unsuccessful love, insolence, spurns, things that are unworthy. So those are lots of problems. And then he suggests, well, we could just kill ourselves. That might make it better. All right, Shafar, can you read number 3 for us?
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the sling and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them.
All right, so what do we think? We already did A and B, so those are out. It's between C, D, and E.
Take arms.
So to take arms was one of our vocabulary words. Fight. So which letter might it be?
Letter D. Is it better to
Excellent.
tolerate problems and difficulties or to fight them?
Exactly. Yeah, he's asking a question. Is it better to tolerate or fight our problems? And in number 3, we see he's saying to take arms or oppose them. To take arms against a sea of trouble and oppose them, or suffer the slings and arrows of fortune. All right, number 4, Heidi, can you read it for us?
To die to sleep, and no more, and by a sleep to say we end. The heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is here not to. Tide consummation devotedly to be wished.
Thank you very much. So a lot of these words are not something that we use today, and they're not that important, but let's try to summarize number 4 and match it to a letter. So he's talking about dying and sleeping, and our options left are C and E.
Mm-hmm.
So which one do you think number 4 belongs to, C or E?
E.
Okay, so, but there is another problem. If we die, we sleep. If we sleep, we might dream. But what kind of dreams would we have? So in number 4, does he talk about dreaming?
Yeah.
He talks about sleeping, but he doesn't talk about dreaming. So number 4 is a better match for C, because he's talking about all the good things, right? The good things about killing yourself would be sleeping. And then the last one, which we already know, is matched with E. Shafar, can you read it for us, the purple section?
Today, to sleep, perchance to dream, I reserve thereof. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have suffered of this mortal coil, must give us pause.
Mm-hmm. So here he's saying sleep would be great, but it comes with some unknowns. So we're not sure if that's the right thing. Okay, that was a really difficult section, reading some of Shakespeare's actual work. You guys did a great job with it. But now that we're done, let's talk a little bit about his phrasing. Hamlet talks about various things that make his life difficult. For example, he mentions the oppressor's wrong. Can you give a modern example of this, of the oppressor's wrong? What do you guys think? Can you think of any modern day oppressors? Who might be a modern day oppressor? Heidi, what do you think? A modern day oppressor? Someone who oppresses people.
Yeah. Maybe job or surrounding people are a lot more pressure.
There are. Like who?
Just a job.
Jobs, yeah. Hey, that's a great example. Bosses. Bosses could be oppressors.
Mhm.
For sure. Shafar, can you think of any other examples of modern day oppressors?
Accepting financial education and yeah.
Yeah, sure. Financial institutions, totally. Those are two great examples.
For example, competition.
Competition,
I love
sure. Like what?
competition.
Uh, uh, we needed to face all competition from we were born when we were a child.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah,
the
children might
school,
face some oppressors for sure.
yeah, in the school and the university.
Mm-hmm.
And after getting job, we needed to have some competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of oppressor.
Yeah. Any other oppressors you guys can think of?
Parent.
Oh, parents. Wow. Yeah, it's possible. Were your parents oppressors, Heidi?
Yeah, it happened often.
Wow. Shafar, what about you? Did you
Uh,
have oppressive
my
parents sometimes?
my parents up sometimes in the morning. He forced me to wake up, like what I said before. Too much.
Yeah, waking up can be oppressive in itself. All right. So, in the next section, we're going to match the examples with Hamlet's descriptions. So, we talked about how the oppressor's wrong could be parents or teachers or bosses in some cases. We're going to do the same thing with some of the other phrases. So, Shafar, can you read A through F for us?
Okay. Your arrogant, friends never treat you with respect. B, you feel off.
Shafar, are you there? Oops, he's gone. All right, well, I'll finish up for Shafar. C, the flowers you send to someone you like are returned. D, your legal case takes years to be decided. E, you're always nice to somebody who treats you badly. And F, your boss is rude to you all the time. Heidi, can you just read numbers 1 through 6 so that we can match them up together?
The whips and scorns of time. The proud man's contumely. The pang of despised love. The love's delay. The insolence of office. The spurns that patient merit of the unworthy worthy takes. Have you experienced any of these problems? Can you add some more examples? Mm. Hello?
Oh, sorry. Uh, numbers 1 through 6, we're going to match to A through F. What about the whips and scorns of time? Do you have any idea which letter that matches to? Is it your boss? Is it a friend treating you poorly? Is it a legal case? Is it feeling old?
Mhm. Your boss is rude to you all the time?
So those have a word in common, time,
Mhm.
but your boss isn't time. There's
Ah,
another one that has to do more with time and time passing. Guess
okay.
again.
Uh, mhm. President, arrogant, scornful time. Okay. Your legal case takes your years to be decided.
That is one that takes time for sure. Let's start with the easy ones. How about number 3? The pangs of despised love. Which letter talks about despised love or love that isn't going very well?
Mm-hmm. Okay, the next one. Case. Mm-hmm. Letter C, you said.
Yeah, exactly. You send flowers to someone and they're returned to you. So that's love that isn't going very well. 3
Mm-hmm.
and C match up perfectly. What about the law's delay? The law and the government, the law's delay. Which one does that match to?
Mm-hmm. Your legal case takes years to be decided.
Exactly. Number 4 matches with D. How about um, how about back to number 1? Which one does that match with?
Mm-hmm. The whips and the scorns of time.
Mm-hmm.
You feel old.
Yes, exactly. You start to feel old. For sure. Okay. So let's try number 6. The spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes.
Mm-hmm. You are always nice to someone who treats you badly.
So which letter is that?
Uh, 6 is E.
Yeah, exactly. Letter 6 is E.
Mm.
Okay, so we only have 2 more. We have number 5, the insolence of office, and number 2, the proud man's contumely. Let's try number 5. Which one
Insurance
do you think?
office, your boss is rude to you all the
Yes,
time.
exactly. F is for 5. And what about the last one, number 2, the proud man's contumely?
Mm-hmm. Your arrogant friend never treats you with respect.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. Great job. You got them all. Okay, so we have a couple conversation questions below. Have you experienced any of these problems, Heidi?
Yeah, I've never had any boss.
Oh, you've never had a boss. That's lucky.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a friend that doesn't treat you with respect?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't care of that.
Wow. All right. What about feeling old? Have you ever felt a little too old?
Yeah, sometimes I think so. I'm not active, so others enjoy their life. So sometimes I think I'm older than them.
Have you ever had despised love or love that didn't go very well?
Yeah, sure, often.
Happens to all of us every once in a while, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
What about a legal case? Have you ever had a legal case that takes too long?
Yes, I think so. Not a legal case, but yeah, I have another apartment. It is will be under the street. The government is planning making street that place. Then it's decided 10 years ago, but still the negotiation is going on.
Wow, that's forever. That takes so long.
Yeah.
What about, are you always nice to someone who treats you poorly? Maybe family or a friend?
Yes, I always want to be nice.
That's
But
good.
even though someone treats me badly, but still, I don't want to be an enemy of someone.
Good policy. What are
Mhm.
some other problems a person might have in their life? Can you add anything to this list of problems people encounter?
Yeah, I want to keep myself my secret always, but sometimes
Ooh.
people are very curious about me. So
Kind of like gossip.
yeah, I want to protect myself from that nosy people.
All right, good idea. Nosy people are a pain.
Yeah,
Anything else? Any other problems people face every day?
every day. Not so much, but I hate some. Do you have cold call from some companies
Mm.
like
Mhm.
sales talk? Uh, I have some cold call from some companies. It's troublesome.
Yeah, that is troublesome. Always interrupting you.
Yeah, I don't know
Very
the
annoying.
person. I don't know the person, but it's her or his job. So I don't want to be too rude.
Yeah, and that's definitely something Shakespeare didn't have to deal with much, huh?
Mhm.
Okay. So, on the next page we have answers, just in case you would like to go back. And then we have a couple questions about Hamlet. So, as we talked about earlier up here, Hamlet has a lot of problems. His father was murdered, his mother married his father's murderer, his girlfriend drowned, and his father's ghost is visiting him. But he doesn't know what to do. So,
Mhm.
what advice would you give Hamlet? And why do you think he's hesitating so much?
Um, he experienced a lot of things from surroundings. He wanted to be honest, but others are not honest to him. So you should believe yourself. You don't care about others. It's
Okay, be
advice.
honest, believe in yourself. Do you think he should take revenge for his father's death?
No, I don't think so.
So, what should he
Um,
do?
yeah, it's very hard to tolerate, but still, he shouldn't have any revenge. Revenge
Mm,
makes him too sad, more sad.
mm,
Um,
definitely. So, your advice is to just be himself and don't take revenge and find something else to do. What else would he do? If he wasn't going to take revenge, what would he do?
Maybe he need to think about another things um, to move on from that situation.
Find another girlfriend or something.
Yeah, yeah, that, another life.
Hmm. All right. So now we're going to find out what happens. We're going to read a summary of how the story ends.
Mhm,
We left him when he had all this trouble. He didn't know what he was going to do. So we're going to complete the summary with the names of the characters.
mhm,
So you have to kind of decide who you think did these things. We have Hamlet, who you know, his father's died and his girlfriend died, and now he's wondering whether he should take revenge. Claudius, who murdered his father,
mhm,
and we already know that the person who murdered his father married his mother. Gertrude is Hamlet's mother and Claudius's new wife. Laertes, the brother of the girl Hamlet was going to marry who drowned. He's also the son of a man killed by Hamlet.
mhm.
Okay, so now we're going to use the names Hamlet, Claudius, Gertrude, Laertes to fill in these blanks. I'll read and you fill in the blanks, okay?
Yeah.
Blank kills several other people, but not blank, the man who killed his father. So who do you think kills several other people?
Several other people. Mm-hmm. Hamlet mother and
No ideas?
yeah, not Claudius. Claudius.
Claudius for blank number 1 or blank number 2?
And to kill him several times, but he was not successful.
We're doing number 1. So, yeah, look at the first blank. What name would you put there?
Claudius killed several other people, but not
the man who killed Claudius's father?
the man who killed his father, so Claudius.
Yeah, Claudius would be this blank here. And we have to start with Hamlet. Hamlet kills several other people, but not Claudius, the man who killed his father.
Okay.
All right. What about number 2? In turn?
Something tried to kill him several times, but he is not successful. The son of the man.
Laertes?
Laertes, yeah.
Okay, could be. That's a possibility. Great guess. Try number 3. Blank tries to kill blank one last time by arranging a sword duel.
Claudius.
Okay, Claudius tries to kill?
No. Gertrude.
Gertrude, Hamlet's mother?
Hamlet's mother.
Okay, so Claudius tries to kill his wife, then?
Claudius killed to kill last time. I'm not sure.
This is a tough one. It could be anything. We don't really know the answers because we haven't read the book. But I don't think Claudius would try to kill his wife. Claudius might try to kill Hamlet.
Yes.
So we could say Claudius tries to kill Hamlet one last time by arranging a sword duel between him and Laertes, maybe.
Yeah.
What about number 4? There's a trap for who?
So there are trap for other poison. Gertrude.
Okay, there's a trap for Gertrude. The tip of whose sword?
Tip for Hamlet.
All right, Hamlet's sword is poisoned. We'll do one more before we move on to something else. This is just for fun. So let's try number 5. Blank also poisons the victory cup in case blank wins. Who do you think poisons the victory cup? Shafar, do you have any ideas? Welcome back, by the way.
Yes, I have a connection problem. What's that? 5?
So right now we're filling in the blanks with people we think might have done these. So we have Hamlet, Claudius, Gertrude, who is Hamlet's mother. Claudius is the man who killed Hamlet's father. And Laertes which is the brother of the girl that Hamlet was going to marry, and he is also the son of a man who Hamlet killed. So, in the beginning, we talked about how Hamlet kills several other people, but not Claudius, the man who killed his father. And in turn, Claudius tries to kill him several times, but is not successful. Then we said that they arrange a sword duel so that they could finally figure out who is the one who's going to win and who's going to get revenge. Number 4, we said it was a trap for one of them, who couldn't decide who, because the tip of somebody's sword is poisoned. Do you have any idea about these? Whose sword do you think is poisoned? Hamlet or Claudius? Laertes, maybe?
Claudius, maybe.
Sure, could be.
Claudius was.
So these were just taking our best guesses and deciding what we think happens. And we could go on, but you guys can do this on your own time as well to figure out exactly what happens in Hamlet. So, Shafar, have you ever heard of such a complex drama like this?
Yes, exactly. About it's not exactly dramatical, but we have heard this a lot of time, like Titanic and that kind of things.
Yeah.
Only.
All right. Heidi, what about you? Have you heard a story so complex and dramatic like this before?
And now very strange case is going on.
Yeah.
Young girl killed her friend, a 15 years old girl.
Oh, wow. Is that
And
real?
real, yes. Last week it happened.
How sad. Where? Where did
And
that happen?
the girl actually, she tried to kill her father before. She hit her father by stick, and her father got injured. He was hospitalized, and her mother already died. But while she was alive, she tried to kill. Her mother died by some cancer. Then, after several months later, the father got married with other woman.
I thought her father was injured but not killed.
Not killed. She tried.
Oh, wow.
Then her father thought his life is very dangerous, so she bought another condo. The girl was living in that place alone. Then the girl invited her friend, and she killed her friend in the condo.
Oh my gosh, this is a very complicated, dramatic story, and it's real?
Real. The father is the attorney, lawyer, very famous lawyer in that
Wow.
place. Very
crazy.
Rich, yeah, very rich man.
Wow, that is a crazy, crazy story.
Yeah.
And it's real. So sometimes reality can be just as crazy as fiction. Shafar, have you ever heard of such crazy stories? Anything in the news similarly crazy?
About crazy news. Oh wow! I have never seen anything like that.
All right. Do you guys have any other comments or questions before we finish up today? It was a small class, but thank you guys for coming, and I hope to see you guys again really soon.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. I've never read Hamlet. I read another Shakespeare stories.
Really? Like what?
Romeo and Juliet.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I went to Juliet's house in Italy.
Wow, how nice. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Mhm.
All right, so maybe now you have a new book to read, Hamlet. Depressing, but interesting.
Yeah, very complicated story. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming, and I'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
Goodbye.